Hey everyone, welcome to our December to be played video, where we talk about all the games we're probably gonna really try to play in December maybe. Okay, to begin, we are going to talk about the games that we had in our November to be played list. First up, we have Monarch. This is a game in which the queen is dying and her daughters are vying for the throne. It is competitive, obviously. And we actually got like many playthroughs of this one down, which is super fun because, as you can probably guess, with the website, we'll always play games a few times before we review them, more depending on whether or not we think we need to in order to get a good grasp of it. But it's rare that we actually get to sit down and play a game over and over and over again, and we did. Well, Ty and I, though, we didn't. We didn't even get to play this one once, which is a shame because it's beautiful. And ironically, it's all about like simplicity, and the reason why we didn't get to play it is because we had too much stuff going on, so that'll be a lesson we learn at a later date. Heroes Wanted, though, that is a game we did get to play. So this is a game where you are trying out to be part of the new superhero team in town. We did like it, but we also found that our playgroup was kind of split on it. Some people were really into it, and some people were like really not into it, so we'll review it much more thoroughly later. And then Pandemic Legacy! This one was so fun, and in fact, we are not doing an extra game this month because I want to use that extra game time to just keep playing Pandemic Legacy. We've played through January, and then we died in February, so we have to do that again, and then hopefully everything will just be fine after that. I think the game really clears up in like March, and then it's just easy sailing. That's what I've heard. And Fresco, we also didn't play Fresco. We didn't do that. We had it as part of the like pile of games we bring down when we have people over, and we're like, hey, which of these games do you want to play? But they didn't really want to play Fresco that time because they'd already played it. That's the thing, like we liked it, so we played it with a bunch of people, so now everyone we know has already played Fresco with us, so they're like old news. Finally, to end on a note where it looks like we did stuff, What the Food. We totally played this game. We played this game a few times, and we reviewed it on the podcast. It went up in the December 3rd podcast, Vox Republica, so you should definitely check that out. The game was pretty cute. The starting player token is like this little burger that comes apart that has totally mystified me. I love it. I watched this one be played, actually, when we were wrapping up Extra Life, and everyone was sitting around my dining room table, and I was making people breakfast as they were, like, pretending to have a food fight. And it got, one, really vicious pretty quickly, and also really confusing, but I don't know how much of that was just the fact that everyone had been up for like 23 hours at that point. All things considered, we had a pretty good month. We got 4 out of our 6 games played, plus like a few other games that weren't in our video, so we don't have to talk about them here. But we played a lot of games, and that's pretty good, especially around this time of year when family obligation and friend obligation and holiday obligation and shopping obligation, when all those like obligation-y things add up, and we have just like a massive pile of obligations. But we played games too. Gaming obligation. Have to do it. Sorry guys. You have to go play games. I have a website. It's really important. So moving on into December, which is the month it is now, first up, we are going to play Trickerion because this is our December indie game of the month, and it is fabulous. It is a worker placement game set in this sort of Edwardian English world. You are a magician, and the whole point of the game is to perfect your magic tricks and perform shows and kind of just outdo your competition. It's really, really fun, and the theme is so exciting and interesting, and like, I love the theme. It's so pretty. It's just pretty, and it's fun, and you get to do magic. So we're definitely going to play Trickerion whether anyone likes it or not, because awesome. So after Trickerion, we have Roll for the Galaxy. I'm excited about Roll for the Galaxy, but I'm also very, very nervous because you know that feeling when like you have a really, really nice book, you have your favorite book, and you love it, and it means so much to you, it's very special to you, and then you hear that they're gonna make a movie. And you're like, oh, that's awesome, because now this story that I have playing in my head is going to play out on the big screen, and more people will know what I'm talking about when I make these weird references, maybe. But you're also really scared, because what if they mess it up? Then you're gonna be sad for the rest of your life. Nothing will ever be the same. That's how I feel about Roll for the Galaxy. I really, really like Race for the Galaxy. I know that can be like a contentious issue. Some of you might have already stopped watching. Fine. But Race for the Galaxy was one of the first games I played when I was starting to get into gaming. And I have like a special little place for it in my heart. I'm worried that Roll for the Galaxy will somehow damage that little soft, nice place I have for Race for the Galaxy, even though that doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, we are going to play Roll for the Galaxy, and I will let you know what I thought of it. Up next, we have High Heavens. This game is very noisy, so I just have the top. But High Heavens is a tactical two-player game where one player is a pantheon of gods facing off against the other player's pantheon of gods. I've heard it compared to chess, even though the movement and actions and everything are very different. That tactical thinking involved is pretty similar. So High Heavens is kind of funny because it took forever to get to us. It went on Kickstarter and did well, but production delays in getting all of the pieces, which are these really cool, like, molded... really cool little molded figures, took a long time to sort out. But it's okay, because now we finally have it, and we are going to play it in December. Speaking of games with really cool pieces, we have Burgle Brothers. This is a heist game, and the real draw, I mean, it's a cool game, but the real draw of this, when you see it played at a convention, is there's this optional add-on component that is like this 3-story game board. And it adds a lot of cool things to the game. It lets you play it actually as if you were performing a heist in this like 3-story building, which is just really fun and really eye-catching. So we did play this once before. I guess it's sort of cheating to have it on here, but hear me out. So when we played this, it was like, what, 4 in the morning during Extra Life? And I have no idea what happened. So we're gonna try it again, like, when we're conscious. Normally, now, we would have this, like, old game that I want to play again, sort of thing, where, like, Fresco, last month, where it's a game we've played many times before that we kind of want to just get to the table again. But we're playing Pandemic Legacy now, and I don't want to play any games other than that. So that's my old game of the month. It's going to be my new game of the month. It's going to be the game that we play every month until we are done with that game, or we die. Finally, I draw one from this nifty deck of cards, and that is a game that we must play and review during the next month. Whether we review it in written form or in audio form on our podcast, Vox Republica, is kind of up to the game. Some games need a more thorough written coverage, whereas some games are really easier to cover in audio form. I'm gonna shuffle. Eventually I'll learn how to bridge shuffle. No, I won't. Never gonna learn. You can't make me. And cut the deck. This is hard to do. Influence. Influence. This is a tactical card game played over 6 rounds. Players are trying to gain control of castles on the board, and to do that they have to build up their military power, their political power. There are faction cards. You can sabotage your opponents. It can get a little cutthroat, like most tactical card games. So we are going to be playing and reviewing this one this month. Judging by the size of it, it will probably be an audio review, but we're not sure yet. So that's what our December in gaming is going to look like, hopefully. With the holidays coming up and family obligations and end of the year prep for the site, we have a lot going on, but we tried to keep it relatively light in terms of what games we are going to play for real. We will report back next year to tell you how it went. So happy holidays. If you liked what you saw, and I hope that you did, please go down and like us below and hit subscribe. We love that. It makes our little hearts grow 3 sizes. See you soon. So you can, like, permanently lose cities, like, really easily. I mean, maybe in January. because you know what you're doing and you're a really, really skilled medic. And then someone makes a movie about it, and part of you is thrilled because now this story is going to reach more people and you get to see what's in your head played out on the big screen. But then part of you is terrified because if they mess it up, you will kill them. Like that. Players are trying to control these castles on the board, and, you know, they have to strategize and try to get power to do that. It's a tactical card game. They're all the same. The audio review is up on our podcast as of Thursday, December 3rd? Thursday, December 3rd. I'm gonna look that up so I don't look like an idiot.